sixth force. I can show you Lockheed Martin's disclosure of the seventh force. These are different kinds of energy. Magnetic energy is very different from electrical energy, and the sixth force, which is a different form of energy than magnetic energy, is very different, and that actually allows for warp 1, and that's what Tesla patented in 1927. The first warp 1 engine was patented by Tesla in 1927, and it was awarded to him in 1928. And those patents are in the library, although the details of how they work were removed, but the patents are in the library, and I'll show you those two patents, and I'll describe to you. I can only describe to you what the United States military is releasing publicly. I can't go further than that. I can't give you the actual how it works, because that's still a military secret, and I'm not allowed to do that. But I am allowed to show you what the United States military is releasing to the public on the sixth force and the seventh force. So that Lockheed Martin has been releasing information on the seventh force through to the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences.
Are you still connected with the military? Or are you?
No, I've never been. No, I don't work in the military, and never have in this lifetime. On this timeline, I have not worked in the military. That's another timeline, another place. You're talking about my 20 and back years,
right?
When I was in the military. Okay, yeah, that's a different. That's completely something different. On this timeline, I never worked in the military. When you do a 20 and back in the military, you're not required to serve in this lifetime. In fact, they actually discourage it. Like you already put in your 20, you don't need to put in another. That's okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
How is this technology going to affect us, humanity? Like, what are the ramifications of this coming out?
Are we going to be allowed to use a Q thruster? Are we going to be allowed to use a Q thruster, do you think?
No, they're not going to give you. They're not going to give you warp 1 engines. They're going to give. Okay. No, they're not going to give you warp 1 engines. Not for a while. That's not for a while. We're not going to be zooming around in warp 1. They're not going to allow that because they have agreements with the Super Federation of aliens, the 60 aliens that run the Super Federation. They have agreements with them that not to permit everybody and their brothers, all 7 billion people running around the solar system with warp 1 engines. They're not going to allow that. Not for a while.
So who's going to get that technology? We have the secret space program. They're already operating on that level and above, right? Correct?
Oh yeah. They have all that. They have everything in Star Trek was real. It's all real.
And it is real.
They're
still using
replicators, warp 10, was actually warp 9.8 engines. All that stuff's real. It's all real. Mm-hmm. The United States has had it for a while. The United States had their first warp 1 ships in 1952. Real reliable warp 1 ships in 52.
Well, do you know on this timeline, Dan, with Tesla, you mentioned he died 43, and that's when a lot of the our Social Security numbers and 47 CIA, all that. So can you tell me how do we fill in from 43 to where there's some time missing? Can you fill it in?
43 to 52
on this timeline? Well, okay. Whatever you're willing to fill in.
Because I can tell you I can tell you a lot of the history. First of all, Nikola Tesla, when he filed his patents in 27 using the sixth force. It's better if I describe shortly what the sixth force is. The sixth force is a different form of energy, and just like two magnets of the same pole repel each other, you try to push them together, repel each other. Sixth force is a different form of energy, and when you fire up the sixth force, it repels gravity at 99% the speed of light. So if you have enough of it in a ship, you have a warp 1 engine. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes. I'm listening.
So it's just some time. There's something in the background. I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, so he patented that in 27, and then he publicized his patent throughout the world because he was trying to sell it. The United States wouldn't buy it from him. Westinghouse says, we can't put a meter on that, and they wouldn't buy the sixth force from Tesla. So Tesla went and he advertised it to every major country in the world. And guess who bought the patent? Guess who bought the patent from him in 1929? Take a big guess. Hello?
Go ahead, somebody. I know the answer, but I want to be the guess.
Go ahead, take a guess. Who bought the patent from him in 1929?
Ken, who bought the patent?
Which got him in major doo-doo with the United States. Who bought the patent from Tesla in 1929 for the Warp 1 engine?
They're not guessing. You'll have to tell them. Or else they're not
Nazi Germany bought the patent. Nazi Germany bought the patent. So Nazi Germany had the first Warp 1 ships. They were the first ones to the moon. They were the first ones to Mars. They were the first ones to negotiate with different aliens because they had the Warp 1 engine.
Right.
They're the ones that flew over Los Angeles in the February of 1942, called the Battle of Los Angeles. That was a Nazi ship.
And why did they do that? I think you told me, you explained that to me. Why did they?
Well, they were basically trying to get the Americans to surrender at that time. The Americans didn't want to surrender at that time. Now, of course, the Nazis didn't have enough of these spaceships to do anything militarily, and I think the United States knew that, but they were pretty frustrated over the fact that the Nazis had Warp 1 ships that Nikola Tesla sold them. They're pretty upset about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you guys still on, TJ and Ken? Or
Ken.
Did we lose
Ken. No, I thought I lost Ken. I was hearing a lot of noise, buzzing back and forth. So are you back with us, Ken? It was on and off. Are you okay?
Did we lose Ken? Did we lose Ken?
I'm here.
No, he's there. I can hear him.
Okay.
So, well, that was the first Warp 1 engine. I think that was what you wanted to know, the history of the development of the Warp 1 engine. Eventually, we came to the war didn't really end in 1945. It ended in 1952 with the treaty, with the truce between the United States and Nazi Germany. There are two Germanys. There's Germany and there's Nazi Germany. They're not the same. And then there was a truce in 1952, and the Nazis gave the United States 3 ships as part of the truce to study. We didn't just study the Roswell crafts in 1947. We also had the Nazi craft and their engineers to actually explain how they work and to show them how they worked. And the first joint mission to Mars with the United States with the Nazi Germans were in 1934. The Nazi Germans actually took astronauts with them in 1934 to Mars to show the United States what they had. It only pissed them off with the war anyway, for good reason. You know, the Nazis were a little maniacal. They wanted to take over everybody, and the whole genetic purity thing was a little too much for us. Still is. Anyway, so we came to a truce in 1952. We actually have a treaty with the Nazis in 1957. So the Nazis didn't lose the war. Sorry, it didn't happen that way.
What happened between 1945 and 1952? 1945 was the public.
Well, that's when we were hunting the Nazis. We were hunting down their secret bases in Antarctica and in Brazil. But we didn't have the weapons to defeat them. We couldn't oust them from their secret base. And that was the problem. We knew we were going to have to negotiate with them because we couldn't oust them from their secret military bases in Brazil and Antarctica. We couldn't get them out. We didn't have the technology to defeat them. We couldn't remove them from their bases. So we knew they were eventually going to build up enough weapons to come back and engage us again. Then we decided, you know what, we need to get along with it. Remember they did the flyover in 1952? The flyover in BC?
Right.
Yeah,
well, that's real. Those are real Nazi. Those are Nazi ships. Those aren't aliens. Those are Nazi ships.
Right. So the surrender in 1945 was with Germany, not with Nazi Germany. Like
right.
Two different
the military commander that surrendered that signed the surrender with Eisenhower was not in charge of the Nazi units. He said, I can't surrender Nazi units. I can't even surrender. He wasn't even officially able to surrender. Eisenhower wouldn't even meet with him. He didn't even go in the same room with him. He was just one general that signed over his unit. That was all it was. There was no real surrender in 1945. You just read the transcript, you can see.
Yeah.
Eisenhower didn't go in the room with him for a good reason. He had no authority.
So in 1948, when Eisenhower made a treaty, the question was, when the craft landed at the airport and Eisenhower made his treaty with him, who did he make the treaty with?
Right. Who was that?
Well, you're talking about Eisenhower in '56 making treaties with the Greys and with the Tall Whites and the different aliens from the Super Federation. You're talking about something different. Right? You're getting mixed up between Nazis and aliens.
We're just talking treaties. We're just talking treaties.
Okay, that's the 56 treaty. The 56 treaty was with the Super Federation. The Super Federation consists of 60 advanced species throughout our galaxy. There are 3,000 starfaring species in our galaxy other than us, and 60 of them actually rule the galaxy, and that's the Super Federation. 40 of them are humanoid, 20 of them are non-humanoid, aquatics and reptilians and insectoids. And then he negotiated a treaty in '56 with the Super Federation. That's in '56. Now, that's different from the Nazis. What was done in '57 was with the Nazis.
So, TJ, are you willing to share with Dan your version of the Roswell crash or delivery or whatever you want to? Are you willing to share that with Dan and our listeners?
Are you talking to me?
TJ.
Oh, okay. Good.
Theresa, are you there?
Apparently
TJ?
you had to say me.
All right.
Yeah.
Teresa.
I don't know where she is. Theresa. Okay, she disappeared. Anyway, okay, back to our history. So this is the alternative history that I like to talk about, that I like to get out there. Because this will free humanity. The real history, right?
Yeah. Dan, do you have this already written in the documents or published, or where it's available, where we can have everybody start getting brought up to speed so we understand what has happened in the past and where we're at and where we're headed?
No, see, other people are doing that. I'm an inventor. I work all day and invent and file patents. I'm not involved in that aspect. You should talk to my favorite person for relating the history. Actually, I like Corey too, even though he's jumping bed lately, and a lot of people are upset with him. But he has a really good, he renders the history of the United States very well. So does Randy Kramer. Both of those, you should go to them. They've got it down. I don't know about Wilcox. I haven't followed his rendition, but a lot of the people who've been involved in the disclosure movement, they have a good rendition of the history. You don't need mine. Although no, they don't know the technology development like I do because I've been inventing. They don't know that aspect, the history of the technology. I have the technology down because I am a physicist and an inventor. That's my advantage. No, I haven't written the book on that. Someone is going to make me write a book on that. I got that one. Yeah.
Dad, I'll help you if you need help to document this, because this is important to do before we're all dead. It's to document what you're very, but I'll help you do that. The history's really cool, but the history is happening right before you. I mean, the most significant thing in the history of the United States happened in November 2017. NASA released a peer review of the M drive. And what that means, I'm going to tell you what that means. I'm going to show you how it works in sixth grader level. When did they release that? What was the date they released that? I'm trying to find that
out. The actual date, I don't know. You pull it down, you'll see it says September 2016, but it was actually not really released until mid-November of 2017. Even though the article, the September date, 2016, that really wasn't the date.
Okay. Yeah, I saw one from 2016, so I was thinking it was more recent, but that's the right one. Okay, I have that. Okay, so history is happening now.
It's supposed to be released. The Obama administration ordered it released in September of 2016, and then it got blocked. It wasn't officially actually released.
It got blocked in 2016.
November 14th. It wasn't officially released until November 14th of 2017, and that was because the British awarded Shire the patent in August of 2017. So the British kind of forced the release. So did a bunch of other things. It was a whole bunch of events that forced the real official release. But that's history in the making. We're making it today. History's happening. It's happening. This is the biggest thing in the world, as far as I'm concerned, is the release of that peer review.
That's
you're talking about.
That's not soft disclosure.
Well,